It's Freedom Friday, shout hooray. Bradley J's got the mic today. Producer Ron tries, oh he sways to be less gay, just one more day. Phil Bell's groove and freedom's his jam. Big Gretsch dreams, but we don't give a damn. Oh, freedom, sweet freedom. Ring that bell from the hills to the cities. We all yell, oh, sweet freedom. Can't you see? We're jamming for the red, white, and the free, Phil's our brother, he's the real deal. Loves his country, that's the appeal. Big ideas, big heart, big will. Rolling strong with the freedom zeal. Ron's clapping, Bradley's snapping, Phil's laughing, flags are flapping, stars and stripes, we're all high-fiving. Freedom's vibe, it keeps us thriving.
It is Friday, 2 more days until Monday, and it's going, if everything lines up the way it's supposed to this morning, it's going to be weird.
Yes.
Because, well, I'll just leave it there because I don't want to give it the fecal touch, which always happens. If I mention who's going to be on, it does not work out the way it's supposed to, so I won't say anything. But I will say that, let's see if I can give a metaphorical... hang on. Let me find a metaphor for what the program will be if in fact it works out. Yeah. All right. Here's a good metaphor.
Good metaphor.
Here's a good metaphor. Todd Bridges, remember him from Different Strokes?
I do. Yeah.
He's getting divorced from his wife.
Willis. Yeah. What?
All right. So, right. So this is a metaphor for what the program today will end up being. Now, and I really couldn't explain this myself, so I found a dude, Cashflow Harlem. I have not, all I can tell you is that I have listened to part of this, so it could fall completely apart. But this is the best explanation so far I have seen for the divorce of Todd Bridges and his wife.
There gotta be something wrong with my sight. They saying Todd Bridges files for divorce from his wife. Nah, you don't find that suspicious? Hold on, what you talking about, Willis? This is so bizarre. Nah, he took Different Strokes too far. Nah, either I'm losing touch or is the wife in the room with us? I don't care what reports claiming. Nah, trust me, that's a boy, Damon. This a crazy mix-up. Why they broke up? Must have found his baby picture. To make it clearer, fam, all these years in the zone, he found out he was going man to man. Nah, this is jokes. My UK fam called us Different Blokes. What y'all think about this? Like, subscribe, leave it in the comments.
I couldn't have really described it any better than that.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I looked at that and thought, that's not, it can't be because, I mean, it just can't be. Maybe it's just a bad angle. I mean, we've all taken a picture of ourselves and thought, well, I look like a woman in that picture.
I started to say, or maybe she's just manly. Big boned. Maybe she's big boned.
I wouldn't have used that particular term, but it's possible. If you want to weigh in on the probability of the XY chromosomes, you can use the hashtag What I Learned Today, no matter where you're watching, if it's on YouTube or on Rumble or over at thedailymojo.com. If you are at the website, don't forget, while you're there, to download the Daily Mojo app. If you're on any other social media site, just take a second and hit the like button or the heart button or the thumbs up, whatever it is. Just if you wouldn't mind, just go ahead and clicking that. For it, we'll wait.
Yeah, tickle the plussy.
I want to make sure I give them enough time to
to find it. Yeah,
Sometimes hard to.
it's hard to locate.
All right, so if you, all right, that's enough right there. And while should we theme this? I don't know. I'm not sure if theming is such a good idea at this point in the game, but maybe I will, because I want to thank. Let's see, who do I have to thank for this? Because there's credit where credit is due. Brandon Squish, who is becoming Squish is really becoming a producer of the program, and I appreciate it because he informed me about this particular. It's an Olympic scandal. We're right there. We're right close to the the Winter Olympics next year? Is it coming up like next month? I don't even know.
Let me see.
I think the Olympics are coming up at some point. But you can rest assured that the Olympics are happening in the future. Now, that would be both the summer and the winter. In this particular case, we're talking
next month. Oh no, this what?
That's
the 6th through the 22nd of this month.
Well, so they're happening starting tomorrow, which means that we are quite timely in our. It's a lot like the Grammys. I couldn't have told you when the Grammys are happening, or the Oscars, or the People's Choice, or really anything else. And the same goes for the Olympics, because for whatever reason, they've just fallen out of favor. But I want to preface this by saying that you will never look again at these ski jumpers the same way once I explain to you the latest Olympic scandal in the world of ski jumpers. And I did tweet this out earlier this morning. I did say the story is wrong. It's wrong throughout the story, because The Guardian published this. I don't know if they broke the story on, I think it was actually the German newspaper Bild who broke the story on what's being termed Penisgate at the Olympics. And it's just, look, we're all adults here, and it's this is a good opportunity to explain to your kids, if they're in the car right now, exactly what this might mean. But this is, what the hell does that have to do with Olympic ski jumping? I know you're asking that question.
I was just about to ask you that question.
Well, what the Olympic ski jumpers are doing to cheat is injecting hyaluronic acid into their aforementioned body part. That is helping the Olympic skiers jump, and according to The Guardian, they keep saying it's helping them jump further. That is wrong.
What does it shrink it? Does it shrink it so it's not like airflow
Don't try to guess.
No. Okay.
Because hyaluronic acid is used in cosmetic surgery to plump things up.
What?
And so this
seems like legit. The opposite of what you would want to do.
Yeah, until you learn why it's beneficial, and this just
airflow.
I'm not making this up.
Airflow.
Nope.
Okay.
It's which again that's a valid guess and a manly guess. But here is the headline at the Guardian website: Penisgate at the Olympics. Why injecting acid into here? And here's where they get the story wrong. The World Anti-Doping Agency is investigating whether ski jumpers were injecting their peni with hyaluronic acid in order to fly further.
What?
What's wrong with that statement?
It does.
You fly farther. You do not fly further. You go farther in distance. I don't know how a major news organization does not know the difference between farther and further, but
they don't care. That's why.
They should, because they're in the business of words. But so the question: why would a sane individual inject hyaluronic acid with a needle into their stuff? Because that gives me the willies. And here is why it. See, willy is another. It's not a euphemism. It's another word for And we'll just, from here on out, we'll just call it the willy because it's so much easier to just, and then you can explain to your kids what a willy is. Believe me, your kids know more probably than you already know. So the German newspaper Bild has claimed that athletes been injecting acid into their willies to game the system when they're measured for their suits. You didn't realize probably that when you're a ski jumper, you have to get a custom-made ski jump suit. Makes sense. Those form-fitting, think Lindsey Vonn, those form-fitting suits that they are, where did I put her? Oh, here we go. I'm going to sort of let this go a little bit, because these form-fitting suits that they wear are important. I mean, look at the buns on that dude, huh? Look, I don't even bat from that side of the plate, and I'm impressed. But look how form-fitting those suits are. And they have a lot to do with how far the ski jumper can jump. In that, you get more surface area on the suit, more surface area of the suit, and you have a bigger wing, essentially. That's not a euphemism for a willy, but it does actually make sense. So what happens is they take the hyaluronic acid, which is used to plump things up. When they are measured for these suits, it's kind of a big deal because you have to go in and, thank you, you have to go in and you get scanned with like a laser machine to get the exact measurements of your body. And this whole thing is like they watch you. It's a 3D body scanner. You are measured in the presence of a doctor. You are stripped down to your underpants, and they even tell you exactly how you have to stand, so that in theory the whole thing is technically you could bell a whole thing. The whole thing is like on the up and up ish. So the crotch height is determined by that FIS approved 3D body scanner. So you're going to have to use your imagination here, but if your crotch is hanging a little lower,
then you get more wing area.
Then you get more suit
area.
And more suit area, hence you have a bigger wing. It's actually quite genius, and you've got to be really committed to being like the world's best ski jumper to have them put that needle there. It's hyaluronic acid. You've all heard it in commercials for body or skincare products. It's temporary. In effect, it needs a top up every 6 to 12 months, depending upon absorption and migration of the particles. No one said there would be migration involved here, but there apparently are. And this is according to Professor Eric Chung, who, if you take the C away from his last name, would be Professor Eric.
Would fit that story perfectly.
It'd be hung. He's a urological surgeon. He was previously the leader of the Andrology Specialty Advisory Group for the Urological Society of Australia and New Zealand. I don't know what it takes, what kind of street cred you need to be the leader of the Andrology Specialty Advisory Group for the Urological Society of Australia and New Zealand, but I'm guessing that position is not easy to attain. So once you understand the science behind the whole situation, it's like, all right, well then, yeah. I don't know what women would have to do, and I guess boobs would be Aussie would be kind of a big deal. No pun intended there, right? Because if they
that's more suit. Yeah,
but that's a protrusion, really. I mean, it doesn't benefit you, does it? I'm trying to think of a female advantage in this. So I guess this is only for them. Well, it is 2026. There are some women who have the appendage.
Yep.
Going back to Todd Bridges' wife. We don't know that for sure, but it's entirely possible. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, right? I don't think it would surprise anybody. But that is what we're doing. Can you imagine going back? I don't know how long the Winter Olympics have been happening, but back in the first games in the 1930s, 20s, 40s, whatever it was, and future you goes back to past you and says, "Hey, here's how we're going to win the ski jump contest." And
we're going to put more wing between our legs.
Yeah. And dude is like, you are not doing that. I mean, somebody actually sat down and thought of this because there's a lot of money involved in these sports. And you have to be seriously, seriously committed.
It's a matter of inches, literally, right?
Centimeters.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing? Centimeter? No, millimeter is an inch, right?
No. Centimeter. A centimeter.
What's an inch?
An inch.
I know, but
centimeter,
what's the metric equivalent?
Millimeters are smaller than centimeters, yes.
Okay, so centimeter.
There are 10 millimeters in a centimeter.
Somebody find Jimmy Carter and beat the crap out of him. This would have been so much simpler to do math. Hobo Joe 61 says bigger thing means bigger wing. Oh, bigger thing. I mean, that's, you'd think thing would rhyme with wing, but it really doesn't. It should, but it doesn't. It's not my fault. Michaela's mom, the wind beneath my wing. Thank you. We have a bunch of poets. Deuce 5, y'all are talking about math and didn't think to ask the agent. Thank you. Well, yeah, so Deuce, if you could come up with a handy conversion chart from millimeters to inches, and
well,
just
phone test put it out
to...
there. 2.4 centimeters is 1 inch.
It's the same reason there are 5,280 feet in a mile.
Just because.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No one knows. No one knows. So that's the big scandal out there right now as far as the Olympics are concerned. A little closer to home, this is another one of those lies that we have been told from pretty much from the very beginning. And I've mentioned on numerous occasions, is there anything we've been told the truth about in our lives? And I've
just when you think yes, no.
And I've known about this particular story for a while, but it's one of those that I was reminded of this morning. And the poster of this on X, the tweeter, if you will, is Samahul. Samahul's profile says that they explaining why carnivore and 4 to 6 reps are the catalyst for building the dream physique. He's a personal coach, a trainer, whatever, consultant. And this is the history, briefly, of Crisco. And how many times have you been told that vegetable oils are so much better for you than like lard? Remember, it's like, oh, I can't believe how our grandparents used to use lard to cook with. That's so bad for you. Going back to 1866, feels like we should have... back to 1866. Cotton seeds are agricultural waste. After extracting cotton fiber, farmers are left with millions of tons of seeds containing oil that is toxic to humans. What was the other thing? Fluoride. Remember fluoride? That's why fluoride is in because it was a toxic byproduct, and they figured out a way to sell it to us. Well, it's healthy. So cottonseed oil, same thing. Gossypol is a natural pesticide in cotton. It makes the oil of cotton inedible. The seeds are fed to cattle in small amounts or simply discarded. So I guess it doesn't hurt cattle. So fast forward to 1900, Procter & Gamble. They've been around forever. They're making candles and soap. They need cheap fats. Animal fats work, but they are expensive. Cottonseed oil is abundant, nearly worthless because it's poison. If they could somehow make it edible, they would have an unlimited cheap raw material. So they developed the process of extracting cottonseed oil using chemical solvents. They heat it to extreme temperatures. They neutralize the gossypol, the poison. They hydrogenate it with pressurized hydrogen gas to make it solid at room temperature. Whenever you see hydrogenated whatever, you just kind of gloss over that because hydrogen, not a big deal. The process of hydrogenation, have you ever thought to look that up?
I have not.
And I really hadn't either. But the process of hydrogenation, it's a simple chemical process where we add hydrogen atoms to certain molecules, usually ones that have double bonds, called unsaturated molecules. So you got your unsaturated fats and your saturated fats. The reason they're called saturated is because they've been saturated with hydrogen atoms. And the material or the elements that they use to saturate with hydrogen are nickel, is it palladium and platinum? You can double check me on that. But that's what they use. So you've got nickel and platinum. So these heavy metals, really, I guess, aren't they? I think if they're not heavy metals, they're certainly not light. But they use those to hydrogenate things like this cottonseed oil. And by the way, I did look at it. It's like how much of the nickel stays in it? Negligible amounts. It's washed away. So they use the chemical solvents, then they heat to extreme temperature to neutralize the poison. They hydrogenate it with pressurized hydrogen gas to make it solid at room temperature. They deodorize it chemically to remove the rancid smell because otherwise, natural oil, it's going to get rancid after a while. Oh, by the way, it's gray too, so they bleach it to remove the gray color. The result? Crisco. Crystallized cottonseed oil. That's where Crisco comes from. Industrial textile waste transformed through chemical processing into something white and solid that looks like lard. They patent it in 1907. They launch it commercially in 1911. Again, this is P&G. So they have a problem now. Nobody wants to eat industrial waste. Speak for yourself, pal. Nobody wants to eat industrial waste that has been chemically treated. Your grandmother cooks with lard and butter like we as humans have done for thousands of years. So Crisco, P&G, has to come up with a marketing plan. And they come up with it's brilliant, really. They need to convince people like your grandmother that the traditional fats are deadly and that the hydrogenated cottonseed paste is better. It's the future. The marketing campaign really is genius. They distribute free cookbooks with recipes specifically designed for Crisco, which again is crystallized cottonseed oil. They sponsor cooking demonstrations. They target Jewish communities, advertising Crisco as kosher. It's neither meat nor dairy. They run magazine advertisements suggesting that modern scientific families use Crisco, while backwards rural people, the hicks out there in the country, are still using lard. The real coup, though, 1948, and we've mentioned this before, the American Heart Association. The American Heart Association at that point, tiny little organization. And is their goal noble? I don't know what their initial goal was. I haven't looked that up, but the Heart Association, they've got to be good because heart's in their name. And if you have a heart, you're a good person. But they have a tiny little budget, $1,700. That's all the Heart Association has at that point, 1948. What does Procter & Gamble do? Well, they get real generous, and they give them $1.7 million. Wow. Heart Association finally has some funding.
They get the lottery.
Because they got
wow.
P&G behind them. They get a major corporate sponsor. Fast forward to 1961, the Heart Association issues their first dietary guidelines. We all know these by heart because we've been taught these our whole lives. Avoid saturated fat from animals. Bad. Replace it with vegetable oil. Recommended oils? Crisco, Wesson, other seed oils. The conflict, obviously, pretty blatant. The organization issuing the health advice is funded by the company that profits when the people follow that advice. We out here in the great unwashed, we're all, wow, on the news, on TV. Must be true. Nobody, this is up. This is where the press gets involved too. Newspapers reporting the guidelines are objective science. Follow the science. You disagree with the science, you know what you are? You're a racist, fascist tyrant is what you, and probably a Nazi too if you disagree with them. Whatever the term back then was for fascist, racist tyrant. Doctors repeat them to patients. Government agencies adopt them into policy. Industrial cottonseed oil, chemically treated and hydrogenated, becomes heart healthy. Butter becomes artery clogging poison. Unbelievable. Fast forward once again to the 1980s. Researchers discovered that trans fats created by hydrogenation directly cause heart disease. What? They raise LDL, they lower HDL, they promote inflammation, they increase heart attack risk more than any other dietary fat. Crisco, as originally formulated, is catastrophically unhealthy. It takes 70 years to officially acknowledge. Then your doctor, you go to one of them witch doctors, Ron, Western doctor. Don't they tell you to avoid trans fats and all the other bad for you?
Especially if you have a DO instead of an MD, because the DO is like the whole body thing, heuristics and all this other crap. I had a DO.
What's a DO? Doctor of ophthalmology?
No, I'll find out.
Well, you don't know what a DO is and you go to one? I don't think I've ever heard. I've heard of a DC.
Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. A fully licensed physician practicing in all medical specialties, including surgery and primary care. But they have a whole person approach, combining traditional medical treatments with specialized training in musculoskeletal system and osteopathic manipulative treatment. It's a little. I don't know what any of that means. It's all holistic. Does that mean it's like holistic?
Is that the holistic?
Yeah, it's like you have a pain in your big toe because your stomach is hurting. That kind of thing.
Okay, so it is. Yeah. It's what I thought. So it's like they take what seems like a better approach to me.
It could be. Yeah.
I mean,
my current doctor is not a DO, but
no. So they're telling, but they're. That's the thing about this is, and I have some doctors that. I don't agree with them on everything. I use what I'm not using the doc. I might be using the doctor. I'm going to have to rethink that. But, some of these medical doctors, it's amazing because they're really smart. But on some things, it's like, did you stop and think about that? But I happen to like these people. So I filter what they say with my own filter. But this is absolutely insane that for our entire lives, we've been taught all this stuff, and it's a bunch of hooey for the most part, right? I mean, it's this tweet from Jack Sobiek this morning. I thought this one, it hit home. It's the inside of a mall. You see the JCPenney there. The world we grew up in is almost gone.
Those were the days, man.
It really, truly is a metaphor for our lives in general. We were free roaming kids back in the day.
They just take you and drop you off at the mall, and you spend all day there wandering around.
Man, you get more hookers and blow at that mall. It was unbelievable. But everything about our childhoods now, it's just like it's blown up. And if you have it, you get pissed if you really start to think about these things. They've really, I looked up at the time. My goodness, how quickly it flies.
Yeah.
And one day you look up and you're freaking old and about to die. Sorry, did I get dark? I was referring to you, Ron.
I know.
Because you're old. All right, a quick break here, and then we'll return for more of the darkness that's dropping on us all, because sooner or later, we're all going to... more of the Daily MoJo next.
Taste the honey sauce. Like I like it. Ooh, yeah. This is the Daily MoJo Friday.
Yeah, speaking of honey sauce, when are they going to come out and tell us that honey is bad for us? And why does honey, no matter Is it the temperature at which you store it? But it always crystallizes. I meant to look this up the other day, and it's like, how can you keep honey from crystallizing as quickly? Because I'd like to buy it at Costco in the big thing.
Yeah.
And before I end up using the whole big thing, I pour it into a smaller thing, so I'm not pulling out the big thing all the time like they do at the Olympics. And putting that on oatmeal and stuff. So I transfer it to the smaller thing and then use the smaller thing, but it crystallizes, and it's like, is there anything you can do to keep honey from crystallizing? And I don't know. You keep it at room temperature, obviously, because it doesn't go in the fridge.
Shelf stable.
You don't refrigerate your honey, do you?
No, it stays in the pantry. In the pantry.
You let her roam free around the house.
I do.
See, that was a joke about a woman having a woman as your honey, because isn't that sweet? This is it's not all bad news. It is not all bad news, because we have some really. Where did I put the good news? Is that here? Oh, yeah, it is. We have some really good news, and this in particular is from CBS News.
On to other news now. Former Vice President Kamala Harris is reviving her viral Kamala HQ social media pages from the 2024 election, hoping to use it as a platform to mobilize and energize younger voters ahead of the midterms.
Kamala HQ is turning into headquarters, and it's where you can go online to get basically the latest of what's going on, and also to meet and revisit with some of our great, courageous leaders, be they elected leaders, community leaders, civic leaders, faith.
Huh. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I start thinking about I need to meet some important people, first thing I do, Kamala HQ. That rhymed. Write that down. First thing to do, Kamala HQ. First thing to do. See, we're staying. Strangely, this is still within the theme of the program so far. If you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. First thing to do, Kamala HQ. All right.
Leaders, young leaders. I'm really
old leaders, blue leaders, green leaders, red leader.
Excited about it.
I'll bet you are.
CBS News political director Finn Gomez joins me now. What's the goal here?
What's goal?
My takeaway here, Lindsay, is in speaking to Democrats today is the former vice president is trying to reemerge as a national party leader and stay in the headlines following her defeat against President Trump back in 2024. Right. Not only has she established this pugilistic rapid response site to counter.
All right, there you go. There's your word of the day. Ron, go ahead. I know that there are some people that don't know what pugilistic means, but you, of course, do. Go ahead and explain what a pugilistic website is.
I have no idea what pugilistic means.
What?
Wait, pugilistic refers to the practice, art, or profession of fighting with the fists.
Look that
essentially
up.
Relating to boxing. Yes, I did look it up.
You totally looked that up. You know what you were doing?
I was typing when you asked me.
You were tap dancing because people can't see what you're doing, but I can. I'm spiritually connected to you, and I know what you're doing at any given moment, which is kind of disturbing at some moments during the day.
It is. It is disturbing.
It really is quite disturbing.
Especially when I send photos.
So it's pugilistic. You don't even have to send the photos because I can see. I already have them burned in. But she has reestablished Kamala HQ as a pugilistic. Why would you use that word to describe Kamala Harris's website? What is her website? I don't even know. Do you?
I don't know. Is it not KamalaHarris.com?
Is it Kamala HQ? Kamala. Wait a second. Kamala HQ is a recording artist? Get out. Is that right? What is that? Is that Kamala HQ is a recording artist? Is this like a marketing thing? I mean, look at what you get when you search Kamala HQ.
By the way, you could actually buy KamalaHQ.com for $6,000 right now. It's for sale.
If you had said $1.99, I would be all over that
on
like
it. Yep.
On rice. But so Kamala Harris is a recording artist. Was there somebody named Kamala HQ as a recording artist?
I don't know.
Progressive Media Hub. A progressive media hub aimed at Gen Z voters. Wow. New initiative teams of People for the American Way. You know what? Doesn't that sound like that's a good organization right there? And I know somebody that will have the skinny on this, and his name rhymes with Quell. And we'll talk to, it's Mark Ruffalo tells Kevin O'Leary to shut the, you played yourself well in Marty Supreme. Look at that. There's all kinds of, take the, by the way, don't ever fall for this one.
Nope.
The My IQ quiz. Have you ever done that? They
no.
are like a horrible, crazy girlfriend. They will hunt you down. It's frightening. I did that. I will not make that mistake again. We will find it. We'll get the skinny from this and everything else that Phil Bell has his finger on the pulse of when the Daily Mojo returns.
Boots on the floor, coffee in hand, spin that dial, we start the band.
Boots, check. Keys, check. Attitude, check. We'll take it from here.
Sun comes up, headlines burn, mic goes live, we take our turn. Bradley J. Staggs laughing at the seams, talking big talk about big wild Daily MoJo. Bang that drum, chasing down that American dream. One job, one job, one job, wrong. You had one job wrong. Daily MoJo, beat that chest. Well, our broke, we still believe. One job, one job, one job, one job wrong. We're chasing that American dream.
The Daily Mojo.
Daily MoJo.
Why would you, as Kamala Harris, not own KamalaHQ.com?
Exactly.
Because as soon as that story comes out, she's
somebody's out there looking for it. Yeah.
Why would you not already have that one?
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody who thinks that they want to be a leader and doesn't even have the good sense God gave a goat to.
Look, $6,000 is a drop in the bucket for her. Wasn't she blowing through money? Well, she was.
I'm not sure I would have used that term, but sure. Let's go straight to the man who has the answer.
Get on Phil's freedom train.
There he is.
Rolling out.
Oh
Feel
yeah.
that joy again.
Phil Bell. Phil Bell. Phil Bell.
Let go of the pain. Get on board Phil's freedom train.
Stop kissing his ass, Ron. He's already here.
Get on board Phil's freedom train.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Phil Bell is in the house. And I know you have a limited amount of time today, so we're going to be respectful of that. But I did want to get your input. Yep, go ahead.
Well, I'm headed to Mar-a-Lago. I got a funny story for you. So I'm at an Airbnb. So I'm going to a Moms for America event. Moms for America has been a wonderful client for me in my business outside of being on the Daily Mojo. And I saw the train tracks were right by my Airbnb, so I drive over there so I could figure out where to set up in the morning and so I could get some video. And 5 minutes later, a ton of sheriffs show up and they arrest somebody right there. So it's kind of like, whoa, I think I may have found the wrong part of West Palm Beach.
Wow. Did you get any footage of them arresting whoever it was?
No. It was a little scary because I'm sitting in the car and I see everything pull up, and then one of the deputies brings out the guy who they're arresting and they're standing right by the car. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to move because I kind of get the impression that somebody's going to, maybe start shooting. I was a little worried about that. Just a little bit.
The shoosting begins. No, I didn't realize there were any bad parts of. What did you say, Tampa?
Well, West Palm Beach. So West Palm Beach is
sorry.
right across from Palm Beach. Palm Beach is where Mar-a-Lago is. West Palm Beach is on the mainland. Most of West Palm Beach has actually become pretty gentrified. It's a very nice area, but there are some legacy aspects of the more gritty times on the west side of the Intracoastal Waterway. So, yeah.
So you're talking about those the Asian ne'er-do-wells. It's always those Asian communities that you got to watch out for them. People like Deuce 5 and his crew.
I mean, personally, I'm not worried about the Asian community. It's really the blacks, because I don't really know too many blacks who are not kind of involved in some kind of evil doing. Wait,
you can't say that. You can't. You are obviously a Nazi, a fascist, and let's see, what else can we throw? We'll throw just about any name we can at you. Kamala HQ. Can you explain to
that's
a coon? Thank you.
I want you to understand.
A coon.
Yes, all the liberal blacks on Al Gore's internet remind me every day that you're a coon. I mean, it's like they wake up and this is what they're possessed to say. I don't get it.
That reminds me of the OJ joke. I didn't say you're going to Cancun. You can fill in the punchline yourself.
Nice.
So all right. So Kamala HQ. Why, as if you are relaunching, because I wasn't familiar with her website and Kamala HQ, why would you not already have KamalaHQ.com under your wing if you're them?
Pure incompetence. I mean, it really typifies who they were as a campaign, especially since they, being the Democrats, the left, spent, I'd say, the first several decades of the internet really owning it, right up until about 2017. When 2017 came along, we started to do pretty well, and I would say that was a true grassroots movement, because we went from being kind of left behind to making great memes and doing a lot of things and stopping that stupidity. So I'm not surprised that, actually, I am surprised, I should say, that Kamala and her crew did not actually control all the websites that they should have.
Right. I mean, you're a marketing guy, and I look for the piece over at Variety, right there in the headline, reboots Kamala HQ as headquarters. And it's like, if you aren't familiar, but yes, I love Kamala. I want to go to Kamala HQ. So you go to KamalaHQ.com and boom. I'm surprised it's only $6,000.
Well, please, President Trump, somebody in his orbit, buy this website. If I had the money right now, I would, and I would redirect it to DonaldJTrump.com. So they'd go there, they'd be really happy, and bam, that would be the first thing they'd see.
You know, it reminds me of, hang on, Ron, stay on that screen, because I'm going to remind people of the ultimate, if you go to, again, staying with the theme of the program, if you go to dickticklers.com, remember, and I hope it still works. So it does. It's still. So dickticklers.com will take you straight to the TSA. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know who would ever do that, because I think it's horrible.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah. But ironically, didn't you just have an interaction with the TSA? I mean, tell us about it.
So I did. TSA, remember, TSA stands for Time for Sexual Assault. So I'm coming down here, and I'm coming down here because of, like I said, my great client, Moms for America, and they made me promise that, Phil, no matter what, you get on the plane. So I go to Reagan Airport, DCA, and it's kind of ominous because I do everything they tell me. You know, you take all the stuff out, you take your belt off, you do whatever, keep my shoes on, make sure all my luggage complies. And the guy at the scanner says, "Good luck." And I thought, well, that's odd. Why would he be wishing me good luck? So, of course, I go through the naked machine made by Leidos, which is a criminal enterprise that should be disbanded. And it not only has one alarm, but it has two. It says, well, Phil, not only is your penis a problem, but your butt is a problem, too. We need to see all of this. We don't have enough. It's not just part. And from there, I run into a guy who I've nicknamed Epstein Eddie, because he would be at home on Epstein Island, kind of tall Hispanic guy, and he is so enthusiastic about his job. So enthusiastic, he's got to keep rubbing back and forth. I kid you not. And I tell him it's unacceptable, and I use the D word. Yep, I use the D word because I always say, no matter how vulgar it is, I want to make sure that they remember what they're doing. Because, later on they go to the bar and probably brag to their, would-be girlfriends or boyfriends that they're in law enforcement. I want to make sure that they remember what they were doing. And he said, oh, yeah, it's legal here. Yeah, it's legal here. This is what he says. And then after I continue to remind him how much of a degenerate and a sexual deviant that he is, he says, well, do you remember 9/11? Which to me is hilarious. Somebody who is completely incompetent and works for the government tells me that another instance of government incompetence is responsible for his government incompetence. These are the kind of people who should be unemployed. And I got to say, they're employed by Kristi Noem, who, Kristi, I want to marry you. If it doesn't work out with Big Gretch, I want you to be Mrs. Bell. But I also want to fire you right now. So that's going to make dinner very difficult.
It is, but I think worth the discomfort. I am so, I don't know why I'm shocked, but I am, it never ceases to amaze me how completely out of touch 99.9% of these people who work at the TSA are. Because there is that 0.1% who are, and I've met them. They are people out there just trying to get through the day like everybody else and trying to make a buck. But the vast majority of them are just a-holes. And I don't understand how you can be that completely out of touch. And for him to say that about, I mean, that's mind-blowing that he would say, do you remember, how old a guy was he?
He looked like he was about in his mid-50s. Like I said, he fit in perfectly over on the Epstein.
So mid-50s, so going back 25 years, good grief.
Yeah.
He's going to be about 30 when that happened. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, look, I'm adding a lot of flourishes here, but you got to really ask yourself, if these guys simply stepped up and said, look, there's no reason to touch people in their private area. There just isn't. And it's not a joke. It's not even be funny. There's just no reason to. And then it would stop. It would stop if they did it, and it would stop if the leadership said, okay, we need to make sure that people are safe, but we've never stopped a terrorist attack by touching someone's private area. We just haven't. So we're not going to continue to do it. We'll find other things to do that are not invasive, and it's not beyond the intellect of reasonable people to say that. But it's beyond these people's intellect.
It is mind-numbing, and the problem is we as a society, we allowed it to begin with, and allowed W to come up with this crap to begin with, and wasn't it Biden wrote didn't Biden write the actual legislation? Wasn't he the author of the whatever the hell act? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I know that the Patriot Act, right?
The Patriot Act.
God, it's been a quarter.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I need to check that. Good question.
There's a connection there. I might be wrong. Let me just double check, and I probably don't have time to at this moment, but I may be. He supported it, introduced earlier similar anti-terrorism legislation part. The reason I say that is that I think that he at some point came out and says, I wrote it, which should be your first clue that he didn't write it. And I'll look more into that because it's,
Joe Biden claimed that he authored it, but he didn't.
Okay. That's why I
let him take credit for it. Let's let him take credit for it. Joe, if you want to be the author of the Patriot Act, which almost no one except for government contractors and the far crazy, we want to control you left actually likes, then you know what? Go ahead. Joe, it's all you.
Yeah. Parts of his 1995 bill were incorporated into the 2001 Patriot Act. So we, as a society, we allowed that to happen. We allowed it to go through, and we continue, like you said, we continue to let this happen if the people that were working there at TSA, but the mindset of a government worker like that, and sorry to put everybody to clump everybody in a big old group, but it's true. It's the general mindset that it's them against the great unwashed.
It's us. Yep. Now, I hate to do this. I have to run. The Uber is here, believe it or not. But I'm going to get you some pictures from Mar-a-Lago. And next
please.
week, I'll have more on Epstein Eddie.
Hey guys, the limo has arrived to transport Mr. Bell to Mar-a-Lago. Let's wrap this up pronto, as in hurry the hell up. The man has a date with the president.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right, fine. Every time we give him something to read, it comes out like that. All right, buddy, you go out there and say hi to the president for us, and appreciate you taking the time this morning, and send pictures.
Be safe, Phil.
All right. Thanks as always. MAGA.
You got it, brother. Phil Bell, ladies and gentlemen, from Florida. I was looking over here at the TSA website, and did I know this?
They did end the shoes off policy. Yeah, that was 3 to 6 months ago, I think.
I have thankfully not had to be in an airport.
Yeah.
I don't care if I ever get on an airplane again, sadly. And if I do, it's going to be under extreme sedation because we
all did the TSA pre-check stuff a year or two ago when we were traveling to Europe and stuff.
How much was that?
I wanted to $76 a year, I think, something like that.
You have to pay for them not to sexually assault you. That seems that seems legit. So it was July 8th. I guess I do kind of remember this. Announced new policy today which allow passengers traveling through domestic airports to keep their shoes on while passing through security screening at TSA. The shoes off thing. The whole reason for that was the dude, because that wasn't part of the initial sexual assault policy of the TSA. Was it? When did shoes start having to be? Let's see if I can write a more awkwardly worded sentence. Left off during boarding. Let's see. Requirement for passengers to remove their shoes during U.S. airport security screening was officially instituted August 2006. So the cause, it was implemented in response to the December wait a second. So in December of '01, Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, he tried to detonate those explosives hidden in his shoes on a flight from Paris to Miami. Did it precede the Patriot Act? Because it was September 11, 2001. We get hit. The government hits us. Not enacted until 5 years later. Yeah. It was not so the shoes off policy was not enacted until 5 years later after he had, which again, what's that tell you right there? So he tries to blow up his shoes in 01, and 5 years later the government's like, you know what? I'll need to take your shoes off.
Dude, didn't we have an underwear bomber too?
Yes.
I'm surprised they didn't make us take that off.
Well, that was
that would have been fun.
That was the reason. Didn't they really ramp up the sexual assault after that? The underwear bomber caused what changes at TSA? There was something they instituted after the underwear bomber. That was Northwest Airlines Flight 253. What the hell is it with it Christmas Day? What is it? All these wackos decide to do stuff in December. 2009 by Umar Farouk Abdulmatabliyab.
Hatuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. It caused significant rapid changes to TSA security procedures, primarily focusing on the detection of non-metallic explosives. That is when that's when they started doing the full. That's when they started doing the full body scanners, the ones that you could see through your clothes.
The rapist scans.
Yes, the rapist scans.
Ironic
and those
name,
replaced.
Right? That was the real name of those things. The rapist scan.
RAPISCAN. Rapist scan. It's not the way you pronounce it. It is the way you pronounce it. TSA accelerated the deployment of full-body scanners, the millimeter wave scanners, to replace metal detectors as the primary screening method, specifically designed to detect hidden non-metallic items like PETN explosives used in this plot, and which, by the way, didn't work and were eventually removed because, as with anything else the government does, it was implemented horribly, didn't work, cost too much money, and was a waste of time, energy, and cash. You also got the enhanced pat-downs. Passengers who opted out of the full-body scanner. The TSA introduced more intrusive enhanced pat-downs, which involved detailed inspection of the groin area, breasts, and buttocks. That's when they legalized sexual. That pissed me off for Phil when the guy said that.
Yeah. Good luck.
Remember
I'd be like, good luck? What do you mean, good luck?
That just, that crawls all over me. Restricted access to cabin items. New temporary rules were implemented for international flights to the United States, including restrictions on passengers leaving their seats and accessing carry-on baggage during the final hour of flight. I remember that. You couldn't dig into your carry-on stuff that was in the overhead during the last hour of the flight. What the hell? I mean, seriously, what was that about?
I don't remember flying during that time.
I
don't remember that.
I do. International security upgrades. The attack resulted in stricter, standardized security protocols for international flights traveling to the United States, and it also enhanced intelligence screening. I mean, you had to be smart to be a TSA agent. Well, that one failed miserably, didn't it?
I do remember after 9/11, at some point, they reinforced the door to the cockpit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
the pilots used to come out during flight. They used to come out during flight and
they still do
shoot the crap and stuff. I haven't seen a pilot come out since 9/11. Their doors always closed. Now, I guess I take that back because I remember when we were on our international flight, they did come out. So,
yeah, I've seen them wander out amidst the great unwashed. Here's the wow. This is on the TSA website. I've not seen this, but it's always a good idea to go and see how the TSA is spending our tax dollars. This is, did you know about IEDs? Hang on a second. Too many tabs going here, which is, I know, surprising for me. See how much of this.
Hello, I'm Heather Farley, TSA historian, and with me, as always, is Caroline R.
Oh, what?
TSA historian, Brad.
Are we paying for that?
Yes, and the archivist, apparently.
Argrave, our archivist. I gotta say, Heather.
I'm sorry,
you pronounced
archivist.
It wrong.
I did.
You're so stupid.
This is going to be an explosive episode.
Oh, that was a bad choice of words, was it not?
No, it was intentional.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, because see the explosive. Remember the reason we have to grope you in the groin? Explosives. Because we're going to, this is how we legalize sexual assault.
Well, Caroline, actually, it's going to be a bit of a dud because today we're diving.
There's another reference to explosive not exploding.
Into how TSA stops explosive materials making through the checkpoint. That's true. TSA's layers of security were tested early on in the agency's infancy, and we learned and adapted. And today's episode...
No, you didn't, you lying sack of shit. You didn't learn squat. They consistently fail the testing. This is not a good idea for me to watch this.
Is all about learning from the past, preparing for the future, and you'll understand why you can't take that full...
Is she pregnant?
She may be just big boned.
Fat?
Yeah.
All right. Because they're both kind of fat. Just saying. Wow. Oh, that's mean. You know what? They're with the agencies legalized sexual assault. Sorry.
Water bottle through the TSA checkpoint.
This is not a good idea to watch. This is not a good idea. Stop it. This is only a year ago they put. I'm thinking this is about to be like 15 years old. That's good. Nope, a year ago.
Sounds great. Let's dive in.
Remember the Bahinka plot?
I do not.
Yeah, nobody does, except the people involved in the Bahinka plot.
TSA may have been stood up after the terrorist attacks of September 11th, but its foundation was started long before that.
Yeah, we were, as tyrannical fascist authoritarians, we started long, long ago.
Major events laid the groundwork for much of the policy and
She
strategy
may be a nice person. She may be a wonderful human being.
that TSA utilizes to stop terrorist acts, the Lockerbie bombing and the Bojinka plot.
Carnage tonight in the Scotland village of Lockerbie, where a Pan Am...
Whatever happened to Tom Brokaw? He's actually, I know what happened. He's, is it glioblastoma? He's in bad shape. Feel bad for, he's like, I think he's wheelchair bound. Not good.
747 headed for New York, crashed and exploded.
I remember the
In
Lockerbie.
1988, explosives were hidden inside a stereo and brought on board a plane in checked baggage. Replicated behind me, this shows the attack on Pan Am Flight 103. The IED exploded in midair over Lockerbie, Scotland.
And since then, we haven't had any exploding stereos on planes, have we?
Not that I'm aware
No.
of. Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. So, hey, good for them, right?
Killing everyone on board and a number of people on the ground. The investigation into this attack led to a slew of new policies regarding 100% baggage match, security mandates, and recommended screening of checked baggage for the
Hold on a second. Remember the baggage match? What is that? Where you had to make sure you had to match your tag to the tag on the suitcase at the baggage check, right? Is that the baggage match? Oh, no. Or is that when you have to show your ID at the counter when you check your bag? 'Cause
bags, yeah.
Yeah. Because that does what? When you show your ID at the counter to check your bag, that shows them that you... Okay. I'm sure that's saving us somehow.
FAA and legislation signed into law by President George H.W. Bush. The second is the Bojinka bomb plot. In the mid-1990s, Ramzi Youssef, the bomb builder of the 1993 World Trade Center attack, and with known ties to members of al-Qaeda, planned an elaborate multi-pronged plot, including using explosives to assassinate Pope John Paul II, crashing an aircraft into the CIA headquarters, and hijacking at least 11 other airliners bound.
Yeah, he was a busy son of a gun, wasn't he?
Wow.
Look at what he did. I mean, credit where credit is due, man. He was dedicated to his craft.
The U.S. with IEDs on board. In a stroke of extremely fortunate luck, a fire in his hotel room drew the attention of Filipino police, where he was staying.
Don't remember this
him and
at
the rest
all.
of the cell only 6 days before they would carry out their plot. I present these two historical.
Oh, Timmy Doofus says our military shot down a 747 over the East Coast accidentally. Remember that one? Yes. That was the TWA Flight 700, I want to say. That was accidentally shot down by because the Navy was having exercises training exercises off the East Coast, and although we were told that there was something on board, let's see how much of this I remember, that we were told there was some explosive on board that there was residue. That was it. There was residue that showed that a missile came through the side of the plane. Remember the big controversy about that? And we were analyzing the video, and that was back in, when was that? It was a ways back, because it was all, that's a missile. You see the missile going through the plane. It's not an explosion from inside the plane going out. That's right.
Historical incidents to showcase the attacks and battles TSA.
And then the person who wrote the book on that, they get fired. Like her husband, she was a stewardess on TWA, and her husband wrote the book, or vice versa. Oh yeah, they made his life miserable for writing the book. Oh, they don't F around.
I did a search on that. I didn't find that, but I found that our U.S. Navy in 1988 shot down a Airbus A300 over the Persian Gulf, thinking it was an F-14 fighter.
They're easy to mistake.
Yeah, I didn't see the one about our shooting down.
They've not admitted it. They've not admitted it. It was 1996. TWA Flight 800.
800.
Sorry, I was wrong. It wasn't 700. 800. 8:31 Eastern Time, 12 minutes after takeoff, the Boeing 747-100 exploded and crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. All 230 people on board died.
Yeah, AI is saying that the military did not shoot that plane down. AI is saying this. They're saying that it was an internal fuel tank explosion.
Yeah, of course it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Investigators from NTSB traveled to the scene, arriving the following morning amid speculation that a terrorist attack was the cause of the crash. 16 months later, the JTTF, that would be the Joint Terrorism Task Force, announced that no evidence of a criminal act had been found and closed its active investigation. The 4-year NTSB investigation concluded with the approval of the aircraft accident report on August 23, 2000, ending the most extensive, complex, and costly air disaster investigation in U.S. history up to that time. Report's conclusion was that the probable cause of the accident was the explosion of flammable fuel vapors in the center fuel tank. Of course it was.
Yeah.
You make a hole.
You make a hole. Because we're going to have to take him early if he comes.
Continuing our theme here on the Daily Mojo. More after this.
Thank God it's Friday.
Hey, where are the white women at?
The Daily Mojo.
This particular portion of the Daily Mojo is brought to you by Soap on a Rope, which doesn't really. I have mine up here. I keep it. It's a fabulous air. See if I can do this without knocking myself or somebody else off here. This is the smell. I believe this is the smell of freedom.
That's what I'm saying. The smell of freedom.
And it is.
That smell in the morning just wakes you right up. I love that.
You still talking about soap?
Yes, I am.
This is smellmymojo.com. Why is yours is not on a rope?
No, mine's not on a rope. I need to put mine on a rope.
Just like, remember back when you were in prison.
Would you cut an end off? Is that what you did?
Nope, I'm not telling you.
Come on. It looks like you cut an end off and drilled a hole.
I'm not telling you how I did it. You kidding? That's proprietary. And you have to get a special kind of rope, too, because otherwise it won't work. Go to smellmymojo.com and support a small business, a woman-owned small business, and a small business that makes things smell good and makes you smell good, too, at smellmymojo.com. And the promo code is Daily Mojo for 15% off your purchase. Deuce 5, I trust computer technical support provided by Vladimir Putin more than I trust the TSA. And that's the amazing thing is how many people really do trust the TSA? Because I'm sure they're out there, and it's generally the people who
it's got to
like my
be
mom and dad.
The
I'm sure
worst
would
job imaginable, dude.
Then get a different one.
No,
Stop
I'm telling
sexually assaulting people.
Can you imagine having to do that all day long with people who hate your ass?
I would rather live under a bridge. I'd rather live in a cardboard box. I couldn't do it. I could not do it.
It's like makes for a miserable day every day you go in.
Because you're sexually assaulting people on a daily basis.
I know. But
that's what you're doing. Your job is to go in and sexually assault people on a daily basis. No.
Yeah, the problem is, though, Brad, the problem is that they're picking and choosing who they sexually assault. Because they don't SA everybody. They go,
did you just shorten sexual assault to SA?
SA. I guarantee you they're looking in the line going, okay, number 4, let's stop her.
Because she's got nice tatas?
Yeah, maybe.
Except you get a chick that has to do the pat down. Maybe she's a lesbitarian. I don't know.
Lesbitarian.
She could be. It is asinine. And most people, I get it. You go and you just want to get to wherever the hell you're going. And, all right, just groin me. Just do it so I can move on. I get it. It's what they tell you to do when you get raped. Just go along with it.
I had a whole
conversation. It'll be over with.
I had a whole conversation with the guy groping me one day. I was looking square in his eyes, and he was doing that whole, and I'm like, this is what you do all day? He's like, dude, I hate this job. He did. He said,
then why are you doing it?
Some people have to do it to make money. I'm not trying to make an excuse for him, but the bottom line is he hated it, or he said he did. Let me back up.
You're not going to win this one for me.
I'm not trying to win it. I'm on board with it. Yeah.
I can get a different damn job. What? Sorry, I've lost track of what Fatty was telling us over here.
Faces each and every day. Each of these real-world events.
I apologize. No, I don't.
Had policy and operational impacts that TSA has inherited as part of its mission to safeguard the transportation system.
You're not, though. It's the lie that they tell us. That's the part that pisses me off, is the lie that they tell us that they're safeguarding the transportation system. By sexually assaulting you on a daily basis, they are safeguarding the transportation. How exactly? How is rubbing people in the crotch safeguarding the transportation system? How?
Next, we'll see how TSA has protected the...
Screw it. I'm done with her.
Okay.
Burj Khalifa is losing its crown as the world's tallest building.
Really? What?
Yep.
What's going to take over?
A tower that is 2 miles high.
China.
That's a big tower.
Is it being China?
Probably those damn Chinese.
Yeah.
Deuce 5, would you talk to your people? Proposed mega project in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia plans to build the Rise Tower. Again, keeping with the theme of the program this morning. A structure reaching, son of a bitch, I was just kidding. A structure reaching 2 kilometers in height. I did not, I pulled that number out of my butt.
Well, you said 2 miles.
You're right. That's completely different. What's the difference between 2 miles and 2 kilometers? I did not read this, did I?
Yeah, 2 kilometers is 1.2 miles. So it's significantly shorter than 2 miles.
It's still a mile, but it's still a mile in the sky.
It's a mile, yeah.
That's a long way to fall, man.
How many miles tall is the Burj Khalifa? So that one's going to be 1.2 miles. The Burj Khalifa is slightly over half a mile. Holy crap. This thing's going to be twice plus taller than the Burj Khalifa.
Mm-hmm.
That's a massive building.
It's expected to become the world's tallest building, surpassing the Burj Khalifa. The iconic a mile and a quarter tall. Wow. That is insane. I must have seen that in the corner of my eye or something.
Is that not a magnet? Is that not going to be a magnet for planes? I mean, I don't know.
What do you mean?
It just seems
one
to
little
me
point on the face of the planet.
I get it.
You can't avoid that flying a plane.
You would think that Burj Khalifa is a magnet for planes too, but I don't guess any have ever hit it.
Well, it's like saying they're going to go and hit the Twin Towers. That's crazy. While the iconic symbol of Dubai stands at an incredible 828 meters, which is how tall?
2,722 feet, just over half a mile.
2,000 meters, son of a... A report from 2024 mentioned that Emaar, who's Emaar, is potentially working on a new super tower in Dubai to rival the Burj Khalifa. Global architectural firm HKS unveiled design proposals for the massive Saudi Public Investment Fund-backed project in Riyadh. Now, I found out about this because, remember the line? Remember the line was going to be
the city?
100.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it was in theory one of those 15-minute cities. You know, the world domination, they're going to take over the planet thing. Which I know, believe me, I understand the whole, is it evil behind the 15-minute city thing? I don't. Yeah, probably. I just have not paid that much, which is exactly how the damn TSA started. They're pretty soon you're going to be living in these 15-minute cities and they're going to be raping you every day. That might be hyperbole. But according to The Nation, which we discovered earlier this week, a completely leftist organization, so this might be absolute propaganda. The line, a Saudi mega project, is dead. It was going to be tough to build that thing. Yeah. But you know what? If we doubted the Wright brothers, we wouldn't be getting sexually assaulted every day. This is the Wright brothers' fault. It's two white guys. They are causing us to be sexually assaulted on a well, if you travel every day, on a daily basis. Am I right?
Yeah.
Tell me I'm right. I'm wrong, because I'm not right. Wrong. Hobo Joe 61 said you would likely need oxygen at the top
Look
floor.
at this. Look at this. Look at this. The Rise Tower is on the right. Burj Khalifa is the left side.
Wait, which one's the Rise Tower?
The one on the right.
Just check.
Okay. Look at that. The Burj Khalifa, and that's a tall, tall building as it is.
What do those remind you of, Ron?
What is the Jeddah Tower? Is that?
What does those remind you of?
Jeddah Tower? What do they remind me of? Skyscrapers?
Me too. Never heard of the Jeddah Tower, but it's taller.
But it's taller than the Burj Khalifa. Yeah.
You know what the difference between the Jeddah Tower and the Burj Khalifa is? Don't try to do the math, because that's not the difference.
Oh, I don't know.
Good marketing plan.
There you go.
That's all. So the line, it was, according to The Nation, it was always doomed to unravel, but the firms who lent their name to this folly should be held accountable.
I remember when that first came out and you and I started talking about it. It was impressive what they were going to do with that thing.
It was badass. If you've not seen the marketing for the line, it was really, let's see, which one? I don't want the 44 documentary. I just want it was like a 2-minute, here's what it is. There it is. I think that's it, right there.
For too long, humanity has existed within dysfunctional and polluted cities that ignore nature. Now, a revolution in civilization is taking place.
Yeah, baby.
Imagine a traditional city and consolidating its footprint, designing to protect and enhance nature. The line will be home to 9 million residents and will be built with a footprint of just 34 square kilometers. And we are designing it to provide a healthier, more sustainable quality of life.
I mean, that's pretty badass. I get the implications, and I don't.
Didn't they build?
I want to live there? No.
Didn't they build one section of it already?
Yeah. Oh, it's still but the problem is, and looking at this, you should be able to see what the problem is. Can you see it?
That is too long.
You've never heard that before, have you? In keeping with the theme of today's program, the problem with this is look at the terrain upon which it is built. Now, I mean, from out here, it's like, oh yeah, you just all I do is take a little piece of wood and just run it all, and that'd be my foundation. Now you get close to that and try to lay a foundation that is level and strong along all of that different terrain, because you have sand, and look how close you are to the water.
Yeah.
So you've got water up underneath there, you've got sand, you've got rock. How the hell do you build a foundation underneath that will support that structure and be able to withstand all of the forces being exerted against it? Oh yeah, plus you're in the middle of a very hostile environment when it comes to the heat. I mean, could it be done? Sure, absolutely. And you know what? You don't make advancements in technology or construction or anything else without taking a chance. So I don't fault them for trying to do this. Now you can get into the diabolic nature of the reasons for these 15-minute cities, and sure, I understand that, but the technology behind this, stunning. And
I mean, that says it's supposed to. It was supposed to have been
103 miles, right?
103, 105 miles. Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
I think they laid the foundation. I remember the last time I looked, the foundation that they've so far poured was something, I don't know, mile maybe.
The line's communities are organized in 3 dimensions: Residents have access to all their daily needs within 5-minute walk neighborhoods. And the line's infrastructure makes it possible to travel end to end in 20 minutes.
Okay, and that was the other thing that was kind of an issue, is that somebody ended up doing the math on that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second, how do you do that? How can you go 103 or 5 miles in 20 minutes? And then worked in the time for a stop at each stop along the way. And then the math was tricky. Again, you don't make advancements without setting your goal beyond what is currently available or achievable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll never make any advancements. I get that, but
with no need for cars, resulting in zero carbon emissions. By leveraging AI technology, services are autonomous, saving you time and effort. Designed by
this is what the world of Blade Runner looked like when it was new.
Yeah.
And then what we had in Blade Runner.
World-leading architects. The line is 500 meters tall, 200 meters wide, 170 kilometers long.
Which is how long?
105 miles.
Yeah.
And housed within an elegant mirror glass facade. Intelligent solutions create efficiency.
That was another thing that the science involved in making those panels, those mirrored panels, was pretty. It was a challenge. There were, and as you probably get, there were a lot of challenges in making this thing.
Year-round temperate microclimate with natural ventilation. Energy and water supplies are 100% renewable. The line is designed as a series of unique communities, offering a wealth of amenities, providing equitable views and immediate access.
I hate that word.
Equitable.
It just tells you, as soon as you hear that, you realize, ugh.
To the surrounding nature. With 40% of the world accessible within 6 hours, at the heart of the globe's key trade routes, a place for commerce and communities to thrive like nothing on Earth seen before.
And listen to the music. It's fabulous. It's epic. It is, it's really, it was a pretty cool, and I don't know if it's completely dead. It may be.
They have built, so far, they've built 1.4%. Which is approximately 1.5 miles.
See, my short-term memory is not horrible.
No.
My long-term memory is. What was I talking about? Anyway.
Delivers new wonders for the world.
Neom. So, W. Kunkel, there will be a pile of dead birds at the base of that thing. Yep. And that's just, is it really dead? Who knows? But people love to see, it's human nature, for whatever reason, to point out failures. Trillions of dollars have been invested. Many of the architects, they've yet to apply. While many architects withdrew from projects in Russia after it began its war of attrition against Ukraine, they have yet to apply such ethical scruples to the Gulf petrostates, each of which has invested trillions upon trillions of dollars in high-profile building projects. The governments of these countries are guilty of a range of crimes, from unfettered carbon emissions and forced displacements to the use of slave labor and the assassination of journalists. I don't think they're 100% wrong on this stuff. Yet this has not deterred Starkitects. I've never seen that term. Starkitects and their firms from signing their names to various marinas, towers, and shopping plazas. That's because money doesn't just talk, it screams. Grand and ambitious architectural projects that have largely stalled in the West, but the Gulf states' lack of regulations and endless flows of cash provide the kind of laissez-faire sandbox that most architects, especially those of the technocratic big ideas variety, can only dream of. So maybe it is dead. I guess it's possible. But again, you don't make large advances without taking a few chances.
I see what you did there. Yeah,
that was good, wasn't it? I'm not even trying. Imagine if I applied myself, what I could accomplish. Fake Zoe says, I feel like a mile is too tall. Yeah, I know, right? It's a mile. How long does it take the elevator to take you up a mile?
I don't know, but I can tell you that thing's moving.
It would have to have a soft start on it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just,
yeah.
Otherwise, you end up in a puddle on the floor. The Lord is going to smite that mile-high building. I don't want to be in it if he does. Patrick G., I'm scared from that. From the mile-high building or the line. The line, again, it's... Yeah. What?
I started to say, imagine the observation deck at the top of that thing.
Oh, they won't have one.
Oh, come on. They'll have some kind of...
Used to be, there was in Nashville at the LNC Tower, there used to be a little place you could walk out. That's only, 40 stories. Is it that tall? And then after somebody went out there and did a swan dive onto the awning below, they was okay, that's enough of that. There's always somebody's
going to ruin it for everybody.
I know. It's and why?
Yeah.
And then why'd they have to shut it down after that? I mean, sure, insurance is going to skyrocket. You're going to be paying through the nose, and you won't be able to afford it, and you'll have to move out and sell all of your worldly possessions. But is that any reason to shut everything down? I mean, it seems a little selfish. What am I looking for here? Oh, that. More of the Daily Mojo next.
Sun's burning down on this 9-to-5 grind. Clock's ticking slow like it's messing with my mind. Boots scuff the floor, feel the weight of the day. But that whistle's gonna blow and I'm on my way. Almost Friday, I can taste the night. Cold beer in my hand starts shining bright. Got a fire in my chest and my head held high. Almost Friday, feeling so alive.
You know where to find us. TheDailyMojo.com.
All right, so Kelly Clarkson is actually quitting her daytime talk show for good this time.
That's what she says.
After, I think it's after her ex-husband died, that kind of...
Yeah, she's making time for her family, she says.
Her.
7 seasons. I had no idea it had even been on that long.
Well, I heard, who was it? Was it Keith or Pat Gray? One of the two said that you won't see Savannah Guthrie on TV anymore. Because after something like this, I don't know, and they may be right. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the latest on that is that her son responded to the kidnappers.
Nancy's son.
Honestly,
it was Savannah's brother.
Nancy's son responded to the kidnappers and said, "Look, we need to, if this is legit."
Well, there was a supposed deadline yesterday at 5 p.m. Arizona time,
which doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, and then there's another one coming up at 5 p.m. on Monday. We don't know what those deadlines were for or why, but that's what the ransom note that TMZ received said.
Here is what the is his name Cameron? Yeah, Cameron Guthrie. Here's his response.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
And to me, I think what's going on is that they are just buying time. The and I use air quotes, the kidnapper is just buying time. They don't.
It's entirely possible. And the reason I say that is because, quite honestly, she needed meds to be able to stay alive.
So there's more to this. Obviously, there always is. And I watched the news press conference yesterday. Yeah. So anyway, I hate that for her. Ron, you kind of look alike. After saying that you like Starfleet Academy.
I did not like yesterday's episode. I have to give you that. Holy cow.
Somebody brought up the point that Star Trek started going downhill, and I did not remember this, after this happened with Jay Leno.
Where am I?
Looking for the remote control that he lost in the studio.
Wow, this is Deep Space Nine. Quark! I should have known a big-eared Ferengi would have my remote control.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a Cardassian Devastator. Do you know what some males would pay to get their hands on this?
I know what I'd pay. I'll give you, there's 50. Give me those.
Give me that. That's just Earth money. Worthless up here. Now, if you want this device, you're going to have to provide a service in trade.
Service? What kind of service?
I'm not doing that. Oh, come on, Jay. All right, then how about this? Come on.
Is anybody going to see us?
No, it's just you.
Promise? There's nobody else around? Ferengi promise. All right, I'll do it. All right.
Jay.
That's enough.
Yeah. All right.
You're not going to tell anybody, are you?
No, I promise. Hey, guys, guess what I just got Leno to do?
And so is it legit that Star Trek went downhill after that? I don't know. That was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, and of course, Starfleet Academy last night. I'm not a big Deep Space Nine aficionado, but a lot of people are saying that they destroyed
Benjamin Sisko's name. That's what.
Yeah. I don't know how Avery Brooks feels about the whole thing, but the episode last night was embarrassing. That's about all you can say about Starfleet Academy.
Hold one. Right, are you going to do a break real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead and do a break, and then hold, and I'll let you know. He stepped away from his microphone real quick. Yeah.
Like hold the plane in air in a pattern.
Just do the break.
Pattern, Okay.
Use the hashtag What I Learned Today so we can reach out and touch you. The Daily Mojo.
See, Star Trek had a sense of humor. It always has had a sense of humor. There's nothing wrong with having a sense of humor in the program. The problem is, well, I don't know what the problem is, other than the writers who are writing the if you want to call it slop, or is that too generous a word, these days for Star Trek, aren't Star Trek fans. And the woman, Tanya, what the hell's her last name? She wrote the episode last night. She played whatever the thing was that, Dax?
Oh, Dax. Yeah.
Dax.
Illa Dax.
The character Dax. Yeah. And she was played by Tanya, what's her face? The writer of the episode, who admitted she's not a fan or wasn't a fan of the program, and was all ready to put her name, to put her branding on this program.
He is back
on the universe.
He's back at the microphone. Ivan, are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Good to go. You ready?
What? You asking me?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I be ready?
Well, because you were about to
ready.
go to something else. Here's Ivan Raiklin.
Ivan, it's good. Thank you for joining the program. How are you?
Oh, you're muted, buddy.
Were you asking me if I was ready, Ron?
Yeah, we don't have your audio, Ivan. Can you hear us?
I'm giving Ivan crap.
Yeah, we don't have any audio from you.
You figure that one out, and
yeah, we will do that. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, and then we'll be. And in the meantime, I'll tap dance. The other thing I did note, where'd the picture go? I have to say that Neil Patrick Harris, Doogie Howser, MD, and his husband, they have a cute daughter. I didn't realize they had 2 kids. Their daughter is now 15 years old. Neil Patrick Harris, 52, his brother. Ooh, that'd be, look, it's not Ilhan Omar. His husband, David Burke, is 50, and that's their daughter, Harper Grace. She's 15. They were at the fashion show in New York City.
Looks like we've got
I don't know how they conceived her. That would have been an interesting. I don't know the process behind that, and unfortunately, we don't have time to go into that right now. Back to Ivan Raiklin. How are we doing on the sound there?
Well, I haven't changed any of my settings.
Yeah, we've got you now,
I'm
sir.
not sure what's going on.
Well, we have a saying here on the program, Ivan, and it's
always right.
Oh, good Lord.
So generally speaking, you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to lay it at the feet of Ron Phillips. Anyway, Ivan, for those not familiar with Ivan's name, we are familiar with a couple of appearances you have made in the news as of late. This particular appearance in the news over here, I don't know if I have it queued to the right spot, but there was a House Judiciary Committee meeting. And this, for those of you wondering, that's Ivan with his back to us right now. Is Michael Fanone. I like to refer to him as Douche Canoe.
Hey, the committee will be in order. Mr. Chairman, will you?
No shame.
Sir. It will be in order.
Treating these people that way.
This guy is threatening my family.
Members of the audience,
my children.
Members of the audience will please sit down or remove themselves from the committee room.
I think
rape my children, you sick bastard.
Okay, so that was the thing that I think got a lot of people's attention. You are not just. It's funny because we only see the back of your head in that. You are a retired lieutenant colonel. You are a constitutional attorney, correct?
Yes, sir.
What is a constitutional attorney?
Yeah, so it's essentially an attorney that focuses in on protecting our individual liberties. And most constitutional attorneys actually litigate in the courtroom. I actually do unconventional political advisory work in that particular space. And I advise legislatures at the state level and at the federal level.
And according to Yahoo News and TMZ, you are a, I want to get the term right. It was a conspiracy theorist, which makes you right. Far right. Thank you. Sorry.
Right.
Far right conspiracy theorist. Right.
Far wrong. So everyone else is far wrong and I'm far right.
Thank you. That is a badge of honor here, sir, at the Daily MoJo to be both a conspiracy theorist and a far right activist. So the first, I guess, taste of you that we all had was your interaction with
John Brennan.
What's his face? John Brennan. I couldn't find that video this morning.
It's one of my closest friends that did that. He's got a bald head just like myself. That was Thomas Speciale.
Ron?
I'm
going to lay that one at Ron's feet. Anyway,
of course.
Ivan, well, why wouldn't I? So let's go back to the House Judiciary Committee meeting here, this whole clash. What precipitated, what happened before this little interaction between you and Michael Fanone? And he's a scary looking individual.
Yeah, so he is very scared of my presence, obviously. So what precipitated this is that on January 6th, he lied to the entire country of his role on January 6th as an MPD officer. He supposedly fainted, and his body cam footage doesn't really show that he was injured. Anything that he said publicly on Criminal News Network, MSLSD, or any of the other programs, the disinformation purveyors, complete lies. And so with that mounting, and as more and more of us expose the lies of January 6th, I've actually interacted with him. This would have been the third time. The first time was a couple of years ago outside the courtroom, and I asked him cordially some questions. And then the next time was last year when I invited him to lunch at an event that he was attending. There was a little break, and Enrique Tarrio and myself were there, and I invited Mr. Fanone and others to lunch, his co-conspirators in the lie of the Nancy Pelosi Fedsurrection. And he didn't really offer too many kind words to me. And then this would have been the third instance. And I've posted this on my social media. Everything's public. The only times I've engaged with him is actually in person, and I recorded and documented all three instances. And on no occasion have I ever threatened him, his family, his children, nor have I ever done that to any human being, whether it's publicly, privately, or have I ever even thought to think of that. And so I guess I'm going to say it here on your program that if he received that threat, I will actually step up and protect his children, since he will not. Because if that threat actually occurred from someone else, which I don't believe anybody had ever threatened his family, but even if they, in the off chance that they did, someone else, then I would be happy to protect and defend his children. And if obviously somebody of that demeanor, I'm not even sure if he has custody, if he even does have children, based on that sort of unstable nature that he exhibited in a legislative hearing.
We've seen that. I mean, the worst thing that a person can do is accuse somebody of being a pedophile, and I mean that we've seen that, and racist and Nazi. We've seen those terms being thrown out at other people so often that sadly they've lost their impact because of their overuse, where it's untrue. And I think that was
in this instance. This forces me to have to sue him for defamation per se. I mean, it's a clear indication of defamation. And so the reason why I haven't dropped the lawsuit yet is because I have so many exhibits to add on to that based on many outlets echoing. And we're doing the analysis of which outlets will need to be co-defendants with Mr. Fanone that echoed that sentiment, that motivated others to then conduct further defamatory statements. And it's probably going to include folks on X, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, bigger accounts that amplified and believed what he said. I have to punish all of them. And so I have some time, and I want to make sure that I'm including everybody in that process. And there will be quite a few exhibits. So when that lawsuit drops, you're going to see quite a few people. If they don't retract, then it's going to be fun. It is going to be fun.
You know, Ivan, I remember during this Judiciary Committee hearing, number one, he was in a T-shirt. I mean, that was disrespectful at the get-go. But number two, didn't he curse at some of the committee members?
On that day, so I gave you the genesis of leading up to that day. And on that day, all I did was I stood right behind him, and you can see the entire engagement on C-SPAN, uncensored. And what I did was I said, Michael. He looks back, and I extend my hand to shake his hand, and he says, hey, buddy. His first response was, hey, buddy. And then I said, Ivan Raiklin. And then he said, GFY, right? Go F yourself. And then from there, I said, I'm not going to bend a knee to anybody to attempt. If you're going to attempt to bully me, it's going to be completely 180, right? If you want to flex on me, homie, don't play that, as they say in the street, right? And so you saw there that I'm not going to be the aggressor, but you can guarantee that I will never back down. And I think my physical posture expresses that very directly from all 20 angles that was recorded from. And so
he's a big guy.
That escalated further when I asked him, why you got to lose your cool? Why are you using expletives? And then he did the whole hold me back, bro montage, right?
Right.
And you can see there the tall gentleman that's bald, just like myself, not as not as handsome as me, but the taller gentleman.
Right. No, I was going to say
holding him back was definitely, he's one of the co-conspirators of the January 6th Fedsurrection cover-up. So Harry Dunn is his name. He actually just announced.
Oh, is that Harry Dunn?
Again. Yep. This was so Michael Fanone was an MPD, a disgraced MPD officer that was forced to resign because no one wanted to work with him on the force. Complete liar. No one wanted to work with him. And so Harry Dunn, a U.S. Capitol Police officer that perjured himself on behalf of Nancy Pelosi, as well as his testimony was used along with another Pelosi shill, one of the head of dignitary protection for Pelosi was David Lazarus, a U.S. Capitol Police special agent that perjured himself in order to prosecute the Proud Boys. One of the lead witness, in the Oath Keepers trial, David Lazarus and Harry Dunn, in order to go after their political opponents, in order to, the stepping stone to Donald Trump. So what you saw a couple weeks ago in that hearing was the perfect manifestation. I couldn't have planned this better. It was the perfect manifestation of truth standing up to the complete belligerent lies of the left, facilitated and enabled by the coward Republicans. As Jim Jordan, the chair of this committee, Republican, stood there by and just watched literally like a cuck in the corner and didn't do anything, as this radical, rabid former MPD officer not only disrupted the hearing, a crime, not only started to, then he further assaulted a female U.S. Capitol Police officer as he was escorted out of the room, while the cuck in the corner, Jim Jordan, did nothing, just sat there and observed. The least he could have done would have said, you know what, Capitol Police, go ahead and arrest him. And Mr. Raiklin, because you exhibited such professionalism and tried to de-escalate the situation, I would like to offer you the reserved seat and replace Mr. Fanone sitting right behind Jack Smith. That would have been the appropriate response. But no, we have cowards in the corner known as Republicans in the House.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I didn't realize that was Harry Dunn. I didn't recognize him. This is Harry Dunn from when he was a Capitol Police officer,
and right
also
next
involved
to him was,
in the
Acanilo Ganell, another U.S. Capitol Police officer, and the one sitting right behind, or right next to Acanilo Ganell, that gentleman right there, another bald one. Again, not as handsome.
There are
as
baldies
me,
everywhere.
Not as physically fit, but he's more calm demeanored. So. That's why you don't see him being so sensational. And the one that left the room, the fourth one, was what's his name? Daniel Hodges, an MP, a Metropolitan Police Department officer as well. Those are the fantastic four perjurers that lied in order to facilitate and kind of convince the country that it was an insurrection. Meanwhile, when you look at their body cam footage and the reality of what happened that day on January 6th, it's all predicated on lies. Last thing I'll say is all four of those were special VIP guests of Jack Smith. So you can see that was the clearest manifestation of the Pelosi handoff of the insurrection narrative over to the Jack Smith. Once the Democrats lost the House, they handed it over for further weaponization in the DOJ. And I'm there exposing it all because you know why? I wouldn't be there if Jim Jordan and Mike Johnson were doing it and Barry Loudermilk were doing it. But it's incumbent on people like myself to work the problem in spite of Republicans.
Why are the Republicans being such pussies? What is it? They just want to get reelected? What are people like Johnson and Jordan and are they just playing the game? Would their excuse just be that they're just playing the game? They have to stay in the game to make any changes. So that's what they're doing. Other than that, I can't understand why they would be so feckless.
So it's either best case scenario is that. I think it more likely than not that they are complicit and there's blackmail on them that have been accumulated by the quote deep state. I'll give you one example. Remember when Kevin McCarthy was outed with a recording saying that he was going to ask Donald Trump to resign after January 6th? Well, that recording was recorded by Liz Cheney. So it begs the question, how many other recordings does Liz Cheney have on Jim Jordan, on Mike Johnson, on Kevin McCarthy, on Paul Ryan, and the other Republicans? Because guess what? She learned growing up as a child under her beloved father, Dick Cheney, and her dad's boss's father, George H.W. Bush, who used to head the CIA, that this town operates on blackmail, and that gives you leverage. And so the more blackmail that you can create, the more you can influence and control. And I learned that late in the game. So as I go all these places, I'm also accumulating leverage along the way. And that's why you see them really not wanting to interact with me if you have blackmail on you or you're complicit in some way, shape, or form. There's only a few members of Congress that when they see me in the hallways, they tell me, Ivan, come into my office. Let's talk. Tell me what you got. Those are the ones that are clean.
Let me ask you this. When I'm going to assume you weren't always, and I'm going to use it in quotes, this way, because I wasn't always this way. There was a time I supported W. I defended people like Dick Cheney. I wasn't always a whack job far right conspiracy theorist. When did you become a whack job
factualist? When did I become a conspiracy factualist?
Yes.
Great question. I think that journey is different for a lot of folks. I would say that the reason why a lot of us critical thinkers turned in the direction of both sides are completely corrupt and garbage is with the advent of internet and constant monitoring of everybody. There's data and footprints and digital footprints of left and right that we can pick up on. And the more we see it, the more we see that this corruption probably existed, decades, if not since the inception of time. But because humanity at scale is able to monitor and observe every individual in the system, it allows us to scrutinize them much further, and we start to see all the dirt come out, whether it's the Epstein files, whether it's the Twitter files, whether it's our own research and interactions, right? Because, for example, you can call me an independent journalist because when I go to the halls of Congress and I put my camera on, this little device right here is more capable than any network television technology that existed 20 years ago. And so I'm literally, well, not me, every single person with this device is as much a information purveyor as the network, as the monopoly that was created by ABC, CBS, and NBC. I mean, you're old enough to remember where that was it. And then later comes Fox News. And so we are competing at scale. I mean, I sometimes create content where I'm literally taking a nap that gets more views than Fox News. I'm sure you're in the same boat. And so we are competing for the information war, if you will, and we are dominating. We are decimating the incumbents. And that's why you see this massive friction and the civil war going on within the quote unquote MAGA America First / America Only crowd.
Right. Which is why when Donald Trump came down the escalator in 2015, I was over at the Blaze at that time, and they were all aghast that Donald Trump, they didn't like Donald Trump, and most of them didn't. Stu Bergier, who I love dearly, he was not convinced that Trump was a viable candidate. And I remember telling him at that time, I said, not only will he be elected, he'll go down in history as one of the greatest presidents in the United States. And he couldn't believe I'd said that. And I don't even know how I knew that. There was nothing, because I was not I wasn't into politics that big. I just, but that's what Trump has done. And it's simply because he says out loud what I think a majority of us out here in the great unwashed are thinking. He doesn't have a filter. He says things. Some of the things he says are over the top. Okay, some of the things I say are over the top. Some of the things you say, I know it's hard to believe, are over the top. But it's
I'm being people diplomatic, just want, always.
Right.
You want to be. You want to.
People just want the truth.
Just wait.
You have a website. It is Raiklin.com, and I see you've been on with the Hodge twins, and you've been to quite a few different places. Our buddy Grant Stinchfield. So, what is your goal? Are you running for office currently, or?
No, I'm pretty comfortable in my role. I had a department known as the Department of Retribution. It's the We the People's department, so that makes me the America's Secretary of Retribution, and so I'm comfortable in that role. And for people that don't understand what that is it's coordinating those individual federal officers, state officials, county and local officials, and we the people to make sure that there is retribution for the last 12 years of treason. So I'm synchronizing, coordinating, using platforms such as you offering me up this to motivate the nation and those in positions of power to go ahead and make sure that we punish the last 12 years of treason that go back to the auto pens pardons of 2014. I had a front row seat to all of this. I was on the Ukraine crisis team in the Pentagon. I can step you through an 8K fidelity, name, date, place, transgression, category, and relationships of 1,500 plus individuals in our deep state. And that number grows by the day as we continue to research. So I'm here to effectuate what the Department of Justice, in spite of the Department of Justice, in spite of the members of the White House that are blocking accountability. I'm here to make sure that we never quit at that. And honestly, we upgraded in this administration, and now we need to continue to upgrade from there to create accountability at scale to the maximum.
And that's what people, I think, for the most part, are frustrated with. Is we see sometimes people getting arrested. We will see a lot of big words thrown around, but so far there hasn't been, people seriously paying for what they've done, and that frustrates the hell out of us out here, because we would all be under the jail at this point, but they seem to have this armor on that keeps them from ever paying for what they've done.
Right.
Is that going to change?
If I have about 30 seconds left or so, I want to that's about what we have. People to take a look at our problem that we're currently in nationally from this lens. And I think it might start to answer many things that you're questioning as you're learning about this. Remember that from January 20th until May 31st, Elon Musk had a big outsized influence in this White House. And we saw massive positive movements, exposure of fraud, etc. He was removed on May 31st. Then you were down to two key drivers on influencing White House policy. One was Charlie Kirk, that represented the grassroots and what sounds like you and I would agree with. On September 10th, he was deleted, right? He was murdered in front of everyone. And so that left one remaining, basically a monopoly on decision-making of the White House starting on September 10th. And that would be the Miriam Adelson that many people overlook. According to Donald Trump's own words, Miriam Adelson, he said in Israel at a speech, is more loyal to Israel than the United States. And she has a surrogate in the White House that President Trump calls the most powerful woman in the world. Her name is Susie Wiles. Keep in mind that Susie Wiles was on Bibi Netanyahu's campaign in 2020. So if you were to look at it the big picture level, at the top you have Miriam Adelson that funds and controls policy at the White House and the Republican Party, and on the other side, the Likud Party and Bibi Netanyahu. And then the liaison between those two is Jared Kushner. So when you look at it from that lens, you start to understand why things are going the way they are.
People can find out more at Raiklin.com, I'm assuming, Raiklin, Raiklin.com, and they can find out where your social medias are there as well.
Yep, Ivan Raiklin on X and on Rumble and on Telegram.
All right, buddy. Thank you for making the time. Appreciate it. We will talk again.
Ivan.
I promise you that. All right, there he is. He really needs to come out of the shop. We need to get Ivan to open up a little bit more.
Ivan's good.
I think, Ivan needs to come out and stop being a wallflower. That's 2 hours of audio deliciousness known as the Daily Mojo for today. It is Friday all day long. That is the 6th day of February, the year of our Lord 2026. Let's see, over in the Rumble chat room. Hobo Joe, seems like Fanone has a bit of a roid rage possibility. That image of him going off, I mean, we all know Fanone and Harry Dunn and those.
He puts on a big show to try to hide what he's done.
They are absolute giant pussies. John Klatt says, see you on Monday, but maybe, but I hope not. Training, hopefully, but see you soon. Well, whatever training you're doing, you can take us along. We're small, especially Ron. He'll fit in your pocket.
Yeah.
Over on the X, see anything on Wisconsin Jackal. Ivan just called you old, real brat. Don't think I didn't hear that. Don't think Ivan won't pay for that. I did hear that. I heard it with both ears. And over in the Daily Mojo First Amendment room, Deb's over there, and frankly speaking, and I thought it said Butter Jackhole. I thought, is that like a butterface? But it's like butler jackhole. So anyway, all of you, remember that we the people must hang together, otherwise we shall surely hang separately. Sic Semper Tyrannis, resist stupid. I'll see you in the morning with Jeff Fisher. And good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are. Love you guys. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Watch and listen at thedailymojo.com.